and this is your document, I mean, you can, you know, it's the board's document, the committee, you know, gets it to a point that they, and needs the board's final blessing. Just my take.
Or we went to the intermediate step of the planning commission, the committee sent it to the planning commission, they reviewed it, made changes that they thought were suggestions, then they passed it on to us. I mean, we're two steps beyond the committee.
Right.
Eric, with all due respect, I don't think you should be making any comments. You were on the committee when you were told not to be.
No, that's
Yes, it absolutely is true.
Sean Trent said that
No,
he desired to have one representative from the supervisors, one from here, one from this group, and that's the way it was set up.
You shouldn't
He
have been
did.
on it. McDonald shouldn't have been on it. It's on planning commission. You're actually looking to approve your own work. You should not be making any comments.
And you're,
And if I'll get it, if you need me to get it from Gretchen, I will, because
yeah,
she told us.
you can get it from Gretchen.
I will.
You do it. And get it from John Trent. Do you recall that conversation?
You got Cindy?
Yes.
Nizaroff?
He wasn't there. Cindy recalls it.
He attended some of our comprehensive plan
I'll
meetings.
defer to the solicitor on that one.
Yeah,
Who did?
him, as well as John Trent, those were his
He's not a
words.
supervisor.
But in the comprehensive plan.
It doesn't matter, he's not a supervisor.
I heard him say it too, and if he had desired, which I don't agree with, but even if your point is accurate, that he desired to have a representative from the board of supervisors, where was there a vote taken, or where did you ask the rest of us that you could be our
I don't
representative?
know, it was all done cleanly, though. I wouldn't.
No, it wasn't, it was done dirty, very dirty.
You don't shut your monitor off and you see the reflection. I appreciate your remarks.
And I don't care,
All right,
like everything else is dirty.
now, let's go through the goal. Or what did you want to go through, Dan?
I just said maybe go to page 48 and just, I mean, if the board's in agreement with these goals, if there's anything else that needs to be added or taken out. So page 48, strategy, the strategies to get there, which are the goals. Complete a comprehensive parks and recreation plan to protect, enhance, and grow the community's parks, trails, and natural resources. So there's a basis for that. Again, out of a comp plan, typically, at some point in time, you'll want to do a comprehensive parks and recreation plan, because again, that, once you have that in place, that specific plan is used to apply for DCNR grants and other things that you want to do. So I think that this is a good goal to have, you know, in your comprehensive plan to have this. So a lot of plans have it because parks are so important to most communities.
I mean, I don't have a problem with that, anybody else? All right, so let's move, we don't know. Okay.
Okay. So moving on to goal.
Page 1,
50.
And then we jump into goal number 2, which is the overall goal is Cecil Township will proactively manage future growth and to protect its scenic beauty while capturing opportunities to improve the community and bolster its tax base. So there's multiple goals within number 2. Number 1 is to update the township zoning map incrementally to be consistent with the future land use map. So we'll hold that for now. But I mean, that's typically what happens, is future land use map, which was developed by the committee, is used as a basis to go forward with rezoning, if that's the board's desire. But that's a completely separate process. All that happens if this map gets adopted, it can be used either by an applicant that might want to come in and do rezoning, or the township itself. You can rezone property as a township. You can do that independently of anybody wanting you to do that. So it's just the next. This map is used as the basis, and if you read there's a guideline for comprehensive plans in the municipalities planning code, which I'm holding up right here, and what, to try to get everybody to look at a map and try to get everybody concentrated on zoning, then it starts to get really specific about properties. What I believe Mr. Trant tried to do was cover the sections that are in the municipality's plan code, which there's a big statement about plans, but the basics of it are that there's a plan for land use, which may include the amount, intensity, character, timing of land use proposed for residents, industry, business, agriculture, major traffic and transit facilities, utilities, community facilities, public grounds, parks, recreation, and preservation of prime agricultural land, floodplains, and other areas of hazards and similar uses. So what John tried to do was he was trying to get, at least that there would be consensus within the committee, which was, he came up with these classifications: low density residential, high density residential, medium density residential, and we had commercial, industrial, public recreation and open space, private open space, and municipal. And then sort of mixed use was the catch-all. I don't know that was really defined specifically as to what mixed use would be, but my interpretation of it is that it could be residential and or commercial in nature. It gave it some options, and that was more centric on the interstate highways and the major thoroughfares in the community that were at least to be developed, like up along Rising Road or other places where there was a large amount of open space, like over on Morganza Road. In fact, a big chunk of that piece on Morganza Road is already being developed as TOA. So maybe we hold them out till the end, Cindy, board members. But that was the purpose. So then the second part of that, 2C, was to develop a specific process to update the township zoning regulations pertaining to oil and gas. We already talked about that. Strategy 2, it should be 2D, I would think. 2D, examine PRD ordinance requirements for recreation green space, enhance as needed to encourage growth of recreation opportunities for neighborhoods and protection and incorporation of green spaces. So that's just a basic, actually, to look over the PRD ordinance that we have in place already, just to enhance that if necessary. Then the next step was annually review and
Can I ask a
update.
question about that?
Sure.
Would that include that cluster, like, that's just for PRDs, but would it all, could we also, I mean, that would, I think the cluster home specifications as well seem maybe to be a little bit vague. I don't know if
But
that's
a
true or not.
cluster home is different than a PRD.
Right, that's what I'm saying, because that's citing that we just need to look at it for the PRDs, but do we need to also look at it for the cluster home, is what I'm asking. Sorry. And I didn't know anything about cluster homes until this most recent thing came up anyway, so.
I think it's pretty specific.
What would
I
you just
think
say,
we can
is
review.
examine PRD and cluster home development?
Yeah.
And cluster home.
Yeah.
That simplifies that, and then it's in our comprehensive plan. Because that's all about green space also. That's the purpose of cluster development.
Okay. The next goal is annually review and update maintenance and enforcement policies to ensure they are meeting community needs, which would be your zoning ordinance and different things that come up from time to time when there's new things that are developed or try to be installed. So that's always a good one.
Wait, Dan, on two, you're talking about
2H, it's called in the report.
Page 51.
right, 2A was, 2E probably. We're talking about property maintenance though. In old villages, we don't do anything like that with property maintenance. And there's nothing in our UDO about it. Didn't you guys adopt the property maintenance code?
Yes.
Not for existing residential. There's nothing in there for,
He's right, there's nothing in there for
I thought of little villages, I mean, what do you think was in there?
You're talking about,
He's talking about old stuff.
you're talking about the code enforcement for property maintenance code?
Yeah,
Our property maintenance code addresses any, it doesn't necessarily apply to building construction. I mean, that the building code does, but not property maintenance.
that's what I'm saying, I don't know, I can't recall how it addresses property maintenance itself. The word maintenance is already existing, I know we have a code, for me.
But Mike can go out inside a house that needs painted or needs a roof fixed?
Yep.
What about yards, bad yards, like overgrown bushes, things like that?
That's a given, yeah, that's a.
Yeah, and that doesn't have to where it's located.
So you're sure about that drawing?
Yeah, I mean, well, take, for example, the property over there, on Miller's Run, you know, the grass is growing.
I'm cutting weeds, I know that, we have a weed, that's under, the weed.
That's under property maintenance code.
So as Dave made this question, if somebody, you think your house needs painted, you can go site them?
Yeah, I guess there's paint peeling and, yes, yeah, technically under our property maintenance code, you could, yes.
Okay.
Now, normally it's complaint driven, you know, it's not,
Sure.
it's complaint driven,
I
but,
probably even had, probably haven't had to address that.
right.
I know he goes out and tells people they gotta cut his grass.
That's the biggest.
I mean, we've had, look at all of the other things, so the structure has to be displayed for property maintenance.
All right, good. All right, Dan, go ahead.
All right, so we're up to strategy 3. Goal number 3, implement sustainable public safety operations. Cecil Township will actively explore methods of
Wait,
improving.
does that mean 2L is structure? I had the whole version, was there no 2L?
Here. Gotta get through all this, got the text,
Sorry.
2H.
So like this section, like I don't think should be in our comprehensive plan. Like I think it should be in our comprehensive plan if it addresses an in-house fire department, but while our volunteers remain volunteer organizations, I don't think we should be responsible or have in our comprehensive plan, like that we need to ensure, recruitment or retention. Like that's not,
But doesn't their liability fall back on us?
but to me, that's not like a goal of the township. That could be a goal of the volunteer fire service,
Yeah.
but we don't now, and I honestly don't think we should in the future, be involved in the recruitment and retention of volunteers. Should that fall off?
I see what you're saying.
Should that fall off and we need to step in and take over or hire our own fire personnel,
Yeah.
firemen, firewomen? Then I think that's the responsibility, it should be in the township comprehensive plan, but since our volunteers are separate 501c3s, I don't think that should be a specific section here. That's my opinion. You can agree or disagree, I'm just saying.
I'm just trying to see what's under the township umbrella for the fire department. I mean, we pay workman's comp, we pay insurance.
That's because it's statutorily required under state law.
Yeah.
Okay, but does that force all fire departments under the township umbrella?
No.
But we could sit here and say, we want Cecil, Muse, and Lawrence to do X, Y, and Z plan for recruitment and retention. There's absolutely nothing that we can do to force them, as it's set up right now, to follow that.
Okay.
So having that in the comprehensive plan kind of puts us on the hook for something that we can't actually do.
The paid firemen, maybe a centralized station sometime is on, in the headlights anyway.
Right, but so like, to me, like, that's something, like, I don't know how you say it, how you word it exactly, but like the potential development of a centralized fire station and paid firemen could be a goal, but recruitment and retention for volunteers isn't something we can actually accomplish. Us as a township board of supervisors. I'm not saying I want them to fail, I'm just saying we can't do anything to force
Or
them.
do you just want to change that last sentence to say the 3 fire departments should complete recruitment and retention plans?
I would just like to see that whole thing,
3A, got it.
yeah, because we can't do it. We have zero control over
We could do it through finance.